Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville and you are on the lifeboat. And you know what today is, people? Do you know what today is? Well, let's see. Hold on. Got to make sure I've got it together. Besides, I am a little early this morning, or this afternoon rather. Normally, I would be going at 5 o'clock. However, I have something that I have to do at 6 o'clock. I am meeting with some people about hopefully putting the lifeboat message in a couple of schools. All right, sorry. I had to take care of that. It is about hotter than the hinges to hell in Arizona at this time. I'm starting to get used to it. It's a little creepy, but it is. It's just under 1,000,000 degrees. Mr. Ray actually got sunburned on his eyeballs, which is not something that should happen ever. Spirituality through capsaicin. You know what? I've seen a lot of capsaicin stuff. I've never seen spirituality through capsaicin. I dig it. All right, peeps. So today is July the 6th, and that could only mean one thing. Well, two things. I could be rearranging my collection of Elvis plates, but I'm not doing that. That was last July 6th. Leisure, good to see you. Now, today is the birthday of my considerably older brother, Johnny. There have been times throughout my life when I didn't get along beautifully with my brother, and they were when we were really, really young. We went through some tough times in my really young youth, and I think that's probably pretty normal. He had a little brother to pick on, but as we grew and we got to be, thank you, Daniel. Johnny and I got to be very good friends and brothers at a level that I don't think the average person gets to experience, which is really kind of a cool thing. It's been absolutely beautiful. I got a little freaked out. Hold on one second. Yeah, I got a little freaked out the other day because my brother was eating this stuff on purpose and comparing it to some other foul form of mite. It didn't say Vegemite, but it said something foul and then the word mite, or the half of the word mite. So not only was he eating that poison, but he was eating that poison multiple times. My brother Johnny has been a huge part of my life for 53 years, and he became a larger part of my life. Obviously, when I started going down the road to being a YouTuber, because my brother Johnny is one of the workhorses on all of the Big Red Button. I think we're at about 1,015 videos or something like that, which is a lot of content. It's a lot of videos. It's not a quarter of the videos that my brother has done. I think he's in the somewhere on his way to the 5,000 mark. Johnny is just one of those cats that delivers good, bad, ugly, whatever's going on in his life. He's there, he's been an inspiration. Hey, Kat. He's been an inspiration in a lot of ways, and I'm so proud of the fact that he's been able to put all of his demons away. You know, the drugs and alcohol thing. I didn't know you went live. I sent you a nasty picture of my eye from a sunburn. You're kidding. I'll have to check that out when the show is over. I already commented on that, actually. I was a little freaked out by your eyeball picture. He got a little sunburn on his eye. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why would a guy go out in a desert without wearing sunglasses? I don't know. That one's between you and Mr. Ray Ray. No, but seriously, why did you not have sunglasses on? It's 108 degrees or something. It's way, way too hot to be outside without sunglasses on. Just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Sorry. So this is every time July rolls around, you'll hear stories of how my brother was supposed to be born on the 3rd, and I was supposed to be born on the 6th. And that, it got screwed up, and somehow he was born on the 6th and I was born on the 3rd. But growing up, the month of July was always a big deal in the Scoville household because everybody was born in July. It was one of those prior to getting my baby sister when we were about 17. I was the youngest up until that point, and everybody in the family except my mother was born in July. So it was one of those holidays. I mean, one of those months that it just seemed like there was birthday cake every other day. Dennis Brace, good to see you. Goosebumps 801. Glad you're here, Mr. Ray Leisure. V, good to see you. Rose K, glad that you're here. Charlie Murphy, John Doe, Jason P, Daniel Theobald, always a pleasure. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on and let's see what's happening, because something is happening. Sorry, people. I got a really funny thing. I wish I could read this to you, because this is really funny. But I type so slow that it takes half of the sting out of my. Some of the stuff I do is really funny, quite funny. But when it takes you like 20 minutes to respond, it loses a little of the stank, so to speak. So I'm going to be talking this evening with someone who has some control over schools, and I'm going to be trying to get the lifeboat doctrine put into school, so to speak. Hey, check this out, huh? Yeah? Am I blending in? See that? I look like everybody that ever got through that university. They party quite a bit there. That's the word on the street. Word on the street is it's a party school. And on Family Guy, they bag on it all the time that the women there. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road because I have a bunch of relatives now, apparently, that have graduated from there. So, I was born here. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, well, it happens. It happens. I have lived now in places where the weather extremes go from when I was living in the Northeast. I remember a very brutal month where you could go outside and take boiling water and throw it in the air and it would come down snow. True story. That was about as cold as I've seen. This is about as hot as I've seen. Although when I was in Phoenix for the year and some change that I lived in Phoenix, it was considerably hotter than it is in Tucson. Phoenix is viciously, viciously hot. It is absolutely different. However, I couldn't really compare it because I didn't have any of the. There were no amenities here. There are things that I can do to kind of take the sting out of the hot, which I could not do at all when I was incarcerated, obviously. So I'm glad that you're all here. Truthfully, I am. I got a. So as I said earlier, you guys may or may not have heard, depending on what time you showed up. But as I was saying earlier, I'm almost caught up completely. I have, after the travel and the unpacking of boxes and all of that stuff, I am almost completely caught up with everything that I had to do, going back to previous emails and previous text messages and things like that. And, you take 3 or 4 hours and just read and respond to emails, and you end up coming across some pretty heavy stuff. There's a lot of noise currently going on in our country. And I'm not going to go off on a political rant, I promise. I would really like to go off on a political rant, but I'm not going to, I promise. That said, there's a lot going on in our country right now, and there are some pretty incredible headlines. It's just crazy, crazy things. And The trouble with all of that is that some of the really important stuff gets drowned out in political headlines. Um, a bag of powder found at the White House is interesting stuff, right? And it's fun to speculate if if something as crazy as the fact that his cocaine addicted son, who wrote in his book, I can find cocaine anywhere in the world. It's a special superpower I have. If there's cocaine anywhere, I can find it. I think it was actually crack, is what he said. But I will just call it cocaine because it makes for a good story. But anyway, a little speculation that the kid's probably doing a little blow in the White House. Not the end of the world, even if he is. Doesn't make me happy, I promise you. But it's not the end of the world one way or the other. What is absolutely ending the world of a lot of people every single day is the stuff coming across the border. Here in the United States, our southern border is as, I was going to say something just awful. But anyway, it's not secure by any stretch of the imagination. And it is causing a flow of really, really heavy bathtub pharmaceuticals that are coming into the United States of America. These bathtub pharmaceuticals are being cut with other bathtub pharmaceuticals, very often stuff that is being taken from veterinary applications and then mixed in with street drugs so that they can sling this stuff for more money. Fentanyl is the drug being cut. The biggest cut going into it right now is xylazine. This is turning it into the drug known as Trink. We've talked about this drug a lot on the Lifeboat. I think when I started out, I said that there were 4 places that there had been arrests. There are now in the continental United States, in the lower 48, they're sometimes called. There has not been a state that has not had Trank seized, a Trank seizure. So it's not somewhere in a police station sitting in an evidence locker in every single state in the U.S., which is a little bit frightening if you think about it. It really is. And all of the proliferation of all of this garbage drugs coming in to our country ends up on page 56. There'll be a little article that says something about the number of tabs seized. Yesterday, 900,000 fentanyl pills were seized in the U.S. 900,000. It's just another day. It's a lot of dope, but it's just another day. And you don't hear about it unless you're a freak and you spend a good deal of your time actually like trying to seek out where they're talking about dope and where they're talking about stuff getting caught and where they're talking about stuff being smuggled and things of that nature. If you're not that person, then most of this is going to go right over your dome. It's going to go right over your head. Since it's my brother's birthday, I will tell you a story. And since I think he's probably already left, we wanted to wait for him to get out of here. But when Johnny and I were younger, we lived in Texas, and I used to go down to the border a lot and get pharmaceuticals. You could just drive across the border and go get them and then bring them back. And I did this quite often. I made a lot of trips into Mexico to go get drugs. But for a while, we had a friend who was a truck driver, and that truck driver was making runs all the way from South America into the United States of America. Young guy. But he called me and a few friends and said, I've got a drug that I just smuggled into the United States, and one of the tires that the dope came in on popped, and a bunch of the drugs got damaged. He said, and I can sell the damaged stuff really cheap if you guys want some. We said, well, what's the name of the drug? Assuming it was plant-based, you know what I mean? Like coke or heroin or weed or something like that. He said Mandrax, Mandrax. Mandrax was the name of the drug. Raise your hand if you're familiar with Mandrax. Not very many of you. Okay. Mandrax is still available today in South Africa. My understanding is that Mandrax is still available today in South Africa. It was, for all intents and purposes, a quaalude. or as close to a Quaalude as were still being manufactured. The drug Mandrax as a name shows up in a couple of different books. One about Led Zeppelin, where they talk about it quite a bit. One about Aerosmith, where they talk about it quite a bit. It was a very, very strong barbiturate. And that drug could be consumed orally. You could snort it. You could smoke it. Safe bet is you could shoot it. I don't know anyone that did. But at that time in my life, I wasn't going real hard with needles. So I guess that would have made sense one way or the other. But it was July 6th. Yeah. It was July 6th, 1990 something. And we were celebrating my birthday and my brother Johnny's birthday at the same time. And we had gotten a little bit of white powder that you put up your schnoz, the stuff from South America, the stuff that if I say they'll just demonetize it, especially if they're thinking that I'm talking good about it. But the Bolivian marching powder, and we had gone out, and that stuff's dangerous because when you start snorting that stuff, when you should have passed out at 8 o'clock and not been in any danger to anybody, you might still be awake at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 2:30 in the morning. Yet with all of the other stuff that you're putting in there, you end up, congratulations, Dennis. Well played. Look at this. Well, that's just not right. People, my screen's not running. Colombian marching powder. Yeah, that works. Quaaludes and PCP were the big ones I was warned about in health classes. Well, for solid reasons. So we ended up getting really, really liquored up at a place called Crocs. And on the way home, I don't remember what the fight was about. And I don't know if Johnny's still here, but I would bet you any amount of money in the world Johnny could not tell you what the fight was about. However, we destroyed my brother's car. We just started punching the car, and we broke windows and dented things. And the beetle nut. I did a little deep dive on the beetle nut. This is a question Mr. Ray just said. I have never done beetle nut, but apparently it gives you a rush, very similar to really strong caffeine, or similar in some ways to nicotine or to cocaine. But it's there are countries that people do it in, and it dyes like your grill gets really, really red, which does make it so that all of the people that see you, it's a stimulant, says KD, and I agree with that. Stonelocks, good to see you. Love being here. Thanks you all for being so welcoming. Well, we're glad that you're here. And I mean that. I really do. I mean that. So here we are 20 some odd years later, and Johnny Scoville is sober on his birthday. And hello, Allison. And I had a sober birthday just 3 days ago. Beetlejuice isn't the mayor anymore. You can't say that word 3 times. And now I feel like it's been said more than once. Not sure if you've ever done that 3 times. Nothing good ever comes of it. I should have paddled you with my Crocs. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you. And a happy birthday to Johnny Scoville. And without Johnny Scoville, there would be no lifeboat. So a big shout out to my much older brother. And a thank you for all that you've done for the boat in the years that we've been here trying to help people get sober. Chest Rockwell. That just doesn't sound like a porn name. Used to love the fish scale. Oh, man. Glad those days are over. It's funny that you should say that, Chest, because I was having a conversation with somebody within the last week about exactly that subject matter. There is an uptick in cocaine usage in the United States right now. The amazing thing is there's almost no cocaine in it. It's a very, very bizarre thing. There's not an uptick of real cocaine. There's an uptick of stuff coming in from other countries that, well, thank you, Stone. Stuff that's coming in from other countries that mimics what blow does in the body in a really big way. It is, however, not cocaine. And somebody was talking about coke, and we were talking about drugs in general. There were several of us having a conversation, and someone said, the drug that I miss if I was ever going to do one. And I think that those conversations they're not dangerous unless you let them get dangerous. Hey guys, anyone able to reply? Do you have any drug testing places freely available in America? I.e., you send in and they say, yes, it's coffee with traces of sugar mixed in, etc. James, there are testing centers all over the United States of America. There are testing centers here of every different ilk and every different kind that you can possibly imagine. They are virtually everywhere. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Ray Ray, no place for that. There'll be no beetle juicing, and there'll be no Bloody Mary or any other chanting for that matter. Not free. No, they are not free, but they are affordable because they are virtually everywhere. So this rise in the popularity of cocaine is everywhere, but it I don't believe that. Sorry, I was reading a comment and brain farting at the same time, which is always fun. So there's been this big uptick in blow, and it got everybody talking about it. And I said, the funny thing is that all of these people are out there, and there are people overdosing on it, because they're not snorting cocaine hydrochloride. It's not what's going up their nose. What's going up their nose is, crystal methamphetamine with a bunch of other stuff put in there to give you some kind of a euphoria or to make the thing more, to make you enjoy it more and to bring you back, right? To keep sucking you back into to buying more of it and giving you the s'mores. But these people are overdosing and dying on this crap and probably will leave the planet without ever having done a whole lot of cocaine. All of these people who currently think they're addicted to it. It has just gotten so much cheaper for people to manufacture drugs versus trying to get them the natural way. And the sad thing is, as I've said before, I'm not anti-drug. I never have been. I loved that drug. Sadly, it's the truth. I loved that drug. That was a drug that, and I got addicted to it in the sense of the word that I did it every day, but I did it every day because it was something I mixed with heroin. Wait a second. Chest Rockwell? That's not his name in Boogie Nights. It's Dirk Diggler, isn't it? Or was that the name that he used before he changed his name to Dirk Diggler? Because he could see it in lights. Dirk Diggler. Great movie. Fun film. Or you can contact your Department of Local Health, says Mr. Ray Ray. And while you got him on the phone, ask him for a pair of sunglasses. No, but they will test for you. Oh, Ian, I'm sorry to hear that. You're hearing this from people all over the United States. There's not a day that goes by, probably all over the world, but definitely here in the U.S. There's not a day that goes by that I don't get an email from 2 or 3 people, sometimes with a photograph of people who are just, completely nodded out. My brother had some people that, or it was one person that he saw that was completely unconscious from dope. So it's everywhere right now. It really is. It's everywhere. Yeah. So, and cocaine is also now in the news because there was just some found in the White House, and that's always makes for fun stuff. You know what I found amazing, people, and I'm sorry, I go off on rants. Yeah, KD says some raves and festivals even have tents set up where you can go in and get your stuff tested. Some cities now on the planet have testing facilities that you can go in with your dope, and they will give it a little test and tell you what you're getting. It was his partner's name in the movie Boogie Nights. And that porn they made in the movie. Oh, yes. Yes. The guy from I can't remember his name. The porn movie that ended up costing them a fortune because they just kept going off and getting more drugs. Mr. Ray Ray says, I guess you can say I'm taking the red eye. If you could see the photos, people. Ray Ray, you ought to go over there and post it on the Facebook Lifeboat page. It really is one of the most abused looking peepers you've ever seen. His eye looks absolutely miserable. Chest Rockwell. It's a great name. It really is. And it is absolutely a porn name. I know who you're talking about now, though. I know exactly who you're talking about now. Very funny guy, by the way. Goddess Divine. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. So, Goddess, since you just got here, I was making this a bit of a celebration and a bit of a just, I'm going to talk to the crew. This is my brother, Johnny, my older brother's birthday. Johnny is he is the cat that eats peppers on his channel, Chase T. He's got a very big, he's got a very good sized channel here on YouTube. John C. Riley, thank you. Yes, John C. Riley. Or, as we prefer to call him around here, Chest Rockwell. Chest Rockwell and Dirk Diggler. That is just too good. That is just too good. Of course, you do know how you're supposed to do it, right? You're supposed to take the street that you lived on and the name of your first pet. Just reminded me of the time I was asked to be in a porn. I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people that ended up in doing porn. It's a drug thing. Funny, they're trying to claim that it's a tour guest that brought it into the White House because someone wanted to do a bump in the White House toilet and risk everything. Sure, exactly. But Ian, after sneaking it in and getting away with doing a little bumper in the crapper, then they decide to stash it in a place where tons of people hang out. Makes a lot of sense. Was the co-star actor of Mark Wahlberg's Boogie Nights the second Darren? And he did it in the form of a question. I'm sorry, people. The day goes to Mr. Ray Ray. All that and did it in the form of a question. Good evening, Guy. Well, I'm glad you're getting your work done. We will allow you to not participate today. You can just sit back and listen to the dulcet tones of Mr. Tommy Scoville, coming to you live from the Southwest office of Lifeboat Productions. Sorry, couldn't resist. You don't get to work dulcet tones into a sentence very often. Think about it. You really don't. So anytime you can, I think you probably ought to jump on it. Quiet Girl. Did I see Quiet Girl? I thought I saw Quiet Girl. Perhaps I didn't see Quiet Girl. Yes, I did. Hello, Quiet Girl. Good to see you. Hope things are all well on the Eastern Front. Man, I am in the Southwest, people. It's taking a little bit of getting used to. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a very, very different. It is a very different place than the one that I just left. I'm not going to lie to you. I like it a lot better here. I really do. I dig it, people. But it's different, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. It does take just a little getting used to. The year was 1989. It's a great opening for a book. 89 was a pretty good year. I wonder if somebody planted that cocaine in order to cause some sort of political diversion. I think if you were going for a political diversion, that might not be the best plan. I mean, people just assume that the Bidens are in it. I'm not going down. Never seen Boogie Nights. Miss Dragon, what happened? How did you never see Boogie Nights? This doesn't even make sense. I'm beside myself. I mean, you know why? And I'm not just because you seem to be in sync with so much. We're of a specific age, I guess. And those of our generation seem to have all seen the same things. I'm just shocked you haven't seen Boogie Nights. We run in similar circles, says Ian DeVille. Alice and Stacy never saw it either. That's it. Wait here. I'm going to go get Boogie Nights. We're going to throw it on real quick. And I'm going to get 15 strikes and be out of business in one night. Oh, they would be happy. Oh, they would be happy. And Miss V's never seen it? None of you people have ever seen Boogie Nights? Well, see, I could say something really funny right now, but since you didn't see the movie, it really wouldn't be funny. Everybody else would get it. Tell you what, I'll just show you the last scene from the movie and you can fill in the rest of it. I'm a big star. I'm a great big star. Wasn't appropriate to watch with two kids in tow. Well, there's that. There's that. Probably not the most appropriate. No. I have seen Boogie Nights, says Lemmy. I have the special edition DVD. With the name Chest Rockwell, you had better have the special edition DVD. Leisure saw it. Boogie Nights really depressed me. It's a depressing freaking movie. Absolutely no two ways about it. Did you do a lot of blow, Goosebumps? Because the scenes where they were doing coke depressed the hell out of me. I learned how to dance while watching The Soul Train. Excellent. Why would they like to ban a positive channel like this, especially with the mental health issues in the U.S.? Well, Ian, there are a group of people who just don't like me, and they do everything they can every day to try to get this channel taken down. The scene with Jesse's girl, great song. Yeah, Ian, you would think the positive messages would gain traction. They don't. In all honesty, we don't live in those times anymore, sadly. Burt Reynolds' homage to porn movies. I thought Burt Reynolds was incredible in that film. I'm sorry. I know I digress, since a great number of people here didn't see it. However, he was absolutely incredible in that, and it's worthy of saying again. Burt Reynolds was incredible in that film, and you can quote me on that. Goosebumps. Awesome. Awesome. Who has time for that? Well, that's really the $1 million question, isn't it? That is the $1 million question. Who has time for that? When I was about 14, I was biking around with like 7-ish girls. At one point, I saw that we were being followed by a white van with no windows. Wow, that's scary. I got us out, but failed to tell any adults. Oh, yeah, Stone, you know what? These kind of things happen a lot when we were young, and a lot of times it's something just stupid as hell. You know, we were somewhere where we shouldn't be, right? We told our parents we would be only here, and we were one street over, so we didn't want to get ourselves in trouble by telling them where. But a lot of times, things that we should have said, well, thank God, though, that you, that the dirtbag didn't get anybody, at least then. Photographer, good to hear you from you, man. Goosebumps says, frightening, Stone Lux. I agree, Stone. It is frightening. I think, yeah, and you were a kid, Allison. Thank you. Allison Stacy says, Stone, you were a kid. You can't beat yourself up too bad about that. And that's just a stone cold fact. You should not be beating yourself up about that. For real. Not at this point. I find very few movies worthy of a second watch. Ian, I understand the mindset. There are some films, though, that I've seen Casablanca about 200 times. I've seen The Blues Brothers, I don't know how many times. An unhealthy amount of times. And then a couple of other films that if they come on, I watch. Like Apocalypse Now is one of those films. If it comes on, I'll watch it. It's just I can't not watch it. Wall Street, I think it's a movie like that. Maybe Goodfellas. There's a handful of them. I think it led to my alcoholism. Interesting, Stone. Very, very interesting. If Wolf of Wall Street, yep, good film. I think it led to my alcoholism. Stone, I find that fascinating, but it also makes me wonder, Carlito's Way, wow, is a go-to, and peace to all. Good to see you, not Jennifer Rice. Bad Santa, watch it 100 times. Shawshank Redemption, Ian, good film. Oh, brother, where art thou? Valerie, drop the microphone and walk away. If that movie was on right now in the other room, I wouldn't be doing The Lifeboat. That's one of those films that I will drop what I'm doing and I will go out and watch it because it is just so funny. I have yet to see The Blues Brothers or Men in Black. You have not seen The Blues Brothers. I thought you said you had not seen The Blues Brothers. Obviously, a hiccup in the cyber thing world stuff. Hey, seventh. How many times have I seen Train Spotting? Wow, a lot. Blues Brothers 2000, completely different film. Completely different film. John Doe, I don't blame you. Train Spotting is one of those films that you either love or you hate. It is a disturbing film. I think people who are addicted to heroin for some reason are drawn to the film, probably because of how real it is. Groundhog Day, Chili Phil. Chili Phil, I'm glad that you said that. My dad, Papa Scoville, used to say that there were certain films he could watch 100 times and it never bothered him, and that was always high on his list. Two days in a row. You know what? We could probably come here and talk about movies every day and no one would ever get upset. James Novak, good to see you, brother. Glad that you're here. Really? The author has some amazing ones and you'd love them, Tommy. Wow. Let's see. I have read Marabou Stork. If I just actually pulled that out of my brain, then there's hope. Stone Lux, is that the temperature in Tucson, Arizona today? 1,408. Fear and Loathing, good one. Good one. I got 11 baby chickens now. I need to get a hold of Heather Joy. Yeah, you do. No joke. If there's anybody that can help you with that, it's Heather Joy. And Heather is ridiculously helpful. Brandon Calloway, look at that. Oh, let's see if I can try that again because it's moving just so damn fast. Look at that. Too big of a trigger? Great movie, though. I need to go back and watch Leaving Las Vegas. Boy, Leaving Las Vegas is a tough film. Really a tough film. Yeah, congratulations, Brandon. That's just good stuff. That's deep in the month, too. The farting around is pretty much over. I got a neighbor that bought 12 eggs thinking you get at least 6 chickens. It got 11 roosters. Oh, my goodness. Goosebumps gives 2 thumbs up to Leaving Las Vegas. Wow. See, that was a tough movie for me, man. That was a really tough movie for me. One for Brandon, absolutely. Oh, Less Than Zero is depressing. That's an old cocaine movie from the crack cocaine movie from the 80s. Oh, James, that would be interesting. He wrote the author wrote a book called Marabou Stork, and it's an absolutely disturbing film. Does it really, Miss Dragon? She says Fear and Loathing mentions adrenochrome. And that's the stuff you guys were talking about the other day, yes? Hey, Nick. Not sure why, but Boogie Nights was much harder for me. Well, everybody's got that button that, you know. Hey, we love you too, Noise Opera. Good to see you, Nick. Less Than Zero is really good. I had a problem when there's one scene that's a little hard to handle, and it's not the one you think. I just hated seeing that. When he was trying to get rid of the Corvette for his friend, it was just a bummer. He's going to sell off his vet. Definitely sad, right? Really, really sad, and it also makes me feel really old. Like if I put on Less Than Zero, or if I put on any of the Hughes movies, you know what I mean? Like if I put on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know what I mean? Like I look at all of these actors who are just, you don't think you grow old, right? You go to a concert, what's the first thing you do? You look up on stage and you go, oh, holy crap, they got old, right? You go see anybody that's touring. And I told the story on the boat before, but I went to a concert. The guy came out on stage and he looked out like this and he went, wow, man, you guys all got old. And I thought, oh, it's kind of funny, but let's see here. Breakfast Club. Oh, that's a good one. I want to see The Sound of Freedom. These sounds of freedom are all I ever had. Are we not talking about that? We talk about two different things. Sorry. Redemption songs. Breakfast Club was a big one for me. 1408 is a movie adaptation of. I did know that. It's with what's his name? Thank you, Stone. I'm sorry. 1408. It's about the guy that gets trapped in the room. It's come on, somebody help me. What's his name? Somebody help me. What's his name? This is what you people are here for. We saw Steely Dan a few years ago. I saw Steely Dan 2 or 3 times, which is odd because they didn't tour very much. But when they came back after 20 years of not touring, I was living in Texas and I saw 3 of the shows. Now one of them is dead. I don't remember whether it's Becker or Fagan, but one of them died. John Cusack, ZW for the win. Oh, Sound of Freedom. I know what that is. That's yes. I know what that is. It's got Jim Caviezel. I can't watch that. That's new. John Cusack. Yeah, great film. Well done, Zen Wen. I love John Cusack too. Oh, is that true, Lemmy? Oh, that's disturbing. The Dark Tower movie made me extremely angry. It was an absolute insult to the books. Ah, well, then I feel redeemed because I did not see the any of that, but I read the whole series. And the Dark Tower series was incredible. Uncle Buck, Buck Melanoma, Molly Russell's Uncle Wart. I'm not her wart. I'm her tumor. She's my pimple. Not pimple. Uncle. I'm her uncle. Dude, one of the great films of all time. Uncle Buck. Boy, is it a good film. Goddess Divine says Space Cowboys. Good. All Stephen King movies are trash compared to his books. But let's revisit Lawnmower Man. Talk about true to a script. Boy, you see that film and you think, damn, it's just like the book. I'm kidding. What dreams may come with Robin Williams, says Brandon Calloway. Galaxy Quest, I can watch on repeat. Rose, I like it. Galaxy Quest has one scene where the main character, the guy that basically plays the Tim Allen's character, he plays sort of the Captain Kirk. He fights a rock monster, right? Well, that's in Goblin Valley State Park in Utah. And I did mushrooms in that park once. It was really a good time. Goddess Divine says, love Robin Williams. The Christine movie was trash. You know what? It was, but it was just so 80s that if Christine comes on, I'll watch it again. It's a terrible movie. It really is a terrible movie, but I still will watch it again. Lawnmower Man was creepy, says T. Prada, and she's right. However, it wasn't at all true to anything creepy. Like, it had nothing to do with the book. In the book, the guy literally mowed lawns. And, there was, yeah. Alf. Good to see you. The Dark Tower series were the only Stephen King book series I could read. Everything else just gives me the heebie-jeebies. True Romance. Well done, James Novak. Good one. Christine was my favorite King book. I'm surprised by that. I like The Stand. I still like Creepshow. Booyah. I can hold my breath a really long time. Cujo scared the crap out of me as a kid, says Faces in the Moon V. Cujo was scary. Creepshow was great. I'm sorry, Creepshow was great. The Quick and the Dead, Brandon, well played. Another vote for True Romance. 4 hearts. Hey, a.k.a. Heather Joy, we are so glad you're here. Mr. Ray Ray has got a whole bunch of chickens. Just got them. The Shining is the best. Maybe the best book, and I think the movie did it. Again, they change up a lot, but that was a solid movie and a solid book. The Shining is a really good book, though. I love The Stand. I didn't want that book to end. You know what? It was a prison book for me, and it kept me going for a really long time. We moved to Florida after watching Jaws. Well, that's just cold-hearted. Valerie 102 says, hi, Heather. Enjoyed this morning a lot. Well done, Heather. Firestarter, Dolores Claiborne, The Green Mile, Misery, The Shining. All good. The Green Mile was incredible. The Green Mile was incredible. I thought that was really, really well done. I thought that was really well done. The movie, really well done. I didn't love Firestarter. I really didn't. I still think The Shining might have been the best. Do you disagree with that, Ian? I thought The Shining might have been the best, but you think, yeah, The Green Mile's a good one, man. There's no getting around that. Misery was great. I don't know. I just have something about Kathy Bates. Great movie, though, man. You're right. Firestarter didn't do much for me. Neither did Dolores Claiborne. But The Green Mile was incredible. Yeah, it's incredible, too. You make a solid point, Ian. But I'm still going to go with The Shining. Maybe it's Nicholson. I just thought that performance was so incredible. My stepdad worked on a Stephen King movie called Desperation, I think. I might still have some movie props from it. It was filmed in Tucson. Desperation. I don't know that one. Son plays. Hi, can you give me a give me a shout out, please, since I am watching Minnesota Cuke and the Search for Noah's Umbrella. Son plays. We're so glad you're here. Welcome to the Lifeboat. Glad that you're on deck. Hope you're enjoying Minnesota Cuke and the Search for Noah's Umbrella. Hope you're having a good time. Welcome. Here's your shout out. There's your shout out. Get your shout outs. Ian DeBow says The Green Mile was the best. The Green Mile was damn good, man. Oh, see, Dr. Sleep. Yep, Stone Lux says Dr. Sleep. Lisa K. Good to see you, Lisa K. I hope you're doing well. Just saying that there are 50% good and 50% horrible. I think that's probably a pretty solid Stand By Me Still Rocks. When the night has come. It's a great film. Dolores Claiborne scared the hell out of me, hobbling. Sorry. Kubrick is a genius, no question. Stanley Kubrick was a genius. However, I mean, I didn't love all of his stuff. I really didn't. I mean, some is just, I figure some of it was just like Clockwork was great, just a disturbing ass film, but Clockwork Orange was good. I think honestly, and I know people will argue with me, but I think his seminal work, I think the best thing that Stanley Kubrick ever did was Full Metal Jacket. I think he hit that out of the park. Now, go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong. Ron Perlman. It's funny because he would show up on the set with a pink bathrobe walking his chihuahua. Yeah, but who hasn't done that? Actually, I walk a cat, but there's nothing wrong with a pink. The Outsiders, yeah, it was really good as well, says Brandy. The Exorcist was the worst. This is a disturbing film, to be sure. A Clockwork Orange is my favorite film of all time, says Lisa K. I'm singing in the rain. Rip, good to see you, bud. Just singing in the rain. I'm not sure what that says about you, but it's fascinating as hell. Whatever it is says about you, Lisa, it's fascinating. Love that film. Really do. It's deep, dirt, nasty, but it's a great film. Clockwork Orange. Were they all supposed to be doing LSD or something? I didn't get the movie. The idea is, and you know what? Lisa, since this is her favorite film, may be able to put this more succinctly than I could. But it's not that they're all doing acid. It's that they're all criminals and they're living in this dystopian society. And I think the real... It says that there's a reason I became a psychologist. Well, there you go. There you go. Probably says a lot more than that. It's a fascinating film. But I think what it comes down to in the film, the real moment for me is that, we could turn this person into something that he's not. And in the process, make him docile. It's almost like the frontal lobotomy, right? And it's a very interesting subject matter. Kubrick put about 200 references into The Shining. Really? Sorry, people. This is terribly stuffed. Well, Lisa K., I'm glad you're a psychologist because I think that there should be more psychologists who dig A Clockwork Orange. It's probably a really good thing. Yeah, Goosebumps, I agree. Freaky film. Clockwork Orange looks at how we treat criminals, and in the process, we become the criminals. Booyah. That is very interesting. Lisa, I love that. I really do. I love that. To Kill a Mockingbird, good book. I don't think I ever saw the movie, but good book. Boo, Radley. Ian Bowe says, thank you, Lisa K. You can drop the microphone on that one, Lisa. I think that you probably did as good a job describing that as possibly could have been described. I'm really impressed. I was groping for that or something along those lines, but I certainly didn't do as good a job as that. It's a great film. It really is. I still really have a warm spot in my heart for Full Metal Jacket. I just think that film is just so heavy. You never see anything that they really did a great job at making war just look completely futile and pointless. I also like sappy movies like Sabrina and Steel Magnolias. Now, here's the deal. I don't mind a good chick flick. I really don't. I kind of like sappy movies. But I think I'm more of a go ahead, get your laugh out. Like the rom-coms, like the romantic comedies. There's a couple of those that I really found that I enjoyed. Thank you, Lisa. She says Full Metal Jacket is awesome as well. Love that. That was another one of those films that I could watch a million times. Remember in the end of Clockwork Orange is whistling the song that the person that adopted him, that he sang that song as he murdered his wife earlier in the film. $5 no penny. Dark Passage with Bogart and Bacall is phenomenal. Bogart and Bacall in anything is phenomenal. I saw Singing in the Rain at a dinner theater in Virginia, and it was actually raining on the stage. Oh, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Black Hawk Down destroyed me, especially the book. I didn't see the movie, but I read the book, and it is horrifying. Very, very tough book. Very, very tough book. I'm a sucker for black and white. Like I said the other night, film noir, it shows we come full circle. And the criminals are helped, but the victims take revenge to a whole new level. Interesting. You know what? There aren't too many movies out there that you could go and watch a movie, and then every day for a year you could have a discussion about the film. You know, there aren't that many films out there that are that deep, and that I mean, there's a reason that we're still talking about Clockwork after 50 some odd years. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Lisa K. What year did Clockwork come out? And I have to know. Saving Private Ryan is another great film. Very, very heavy. First of all, I'm 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river. Lisa K, look at that, 1971. So I was right on the money. Came out almost the same time as I did. Hacksaw Ridge, Silkwood, good film. I never saw Hacksaw Ridge. I could be picked on now for that, but I never saw it. I don't think I did anyway. It is a very interesting film, Ian DeBow. You know, there are certain. You were born in 71, Lisa K? Well, I'll be damned. I was born before you, but very close to you. I was born in 1970. Well, if you lived down there, Mr. Ray, did you do the belt thing? Like, what's his name? Oh, I can't believe I can't remember his name right now. You know, Lisa, you can tell me what you think on this. I'll take your opinion since you're a fan. There are films and books that when you see at different times in your life will have a completely different meaning. The one that really jumps out to me on this is Catcher in the Rye, right? When I read Catcher in the Rye the first time, I thought it was the funniest book I had ever read. I was 14 or 15 years old, and he was always, cursing and saying these crazy things, and I just thought, man, this is funny, And the voice of of Holden Caulfield, the way it was written. Downstar Wolfwalker, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Welcome to the boat. But I would really, I just dug the way that Holden Caulfield's voice was throughout the book. Then I read it in my 20s, and it had a completely different feel to it. And I've read it in my 30s and 40s and 50s, and every time I read it, it's just a little bit more poignant and a little bit more difficult to read. And I think that the lessons change, and I think Clockwork might be that kind of film as well. The first time I saw Clockwork Orange, I saw it more almost like a horror film or a sci-fi film than I did of anything. I wasn't looking for value. I was just kind of freaked out. I was a kid. And I think I might have been tripping on acid. because I think the guy that showed it to me talked me into, oh, you got to see this on acid, which of course was great, right? Soylent Green. Soylent Green is people. You are almost the same age as me, V. All right, let's see something here. Yes, Holden is different as a character when you read it as a teen. Like Holden and the lessons change as we get older. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, that book is on the nightstand of my bed. I read A Catcher in the Rye 3 or 4 times a year, and I swear to you, I get more out of it every time I read it. But it's different every time I read it. And I think that there are a lot of films and books out there that kind of transition as you go, which is really a cool thing. Constantine, good film. Constantine was a great film. That opening scene where the kid gets hit by the car, you just don't see that coming. Soylent Green, a.k.a. Mickey D's. Catch 22. What a great book. What a great book. Oh, major. I got my daughter to read that so that I could have somebody to talk to about it. That's a true story. I talked my daughter into reading books so that I have someone to talk to about the books. But I got her into reading that one. Oh, you should give Catcher in the Rye another chance. I promise you will not forget it. All right, peeps. You know what time it is? It's the top of the hour. I need to go meet with some people and see if we can get the lifeboat into some schools. And this here is a cat in a basket. Say goodnight, squirrel. You're a good kitty. Let's get you back on the table. Good night, everybody. My daughter loved Catch 22. Absolutely loved it. Which, I don't know, I feel fortunate about. But yeah, my daughter loved it. Good night, everybody. Love you. Good show. That was fun.